and welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. This is the 2014 Mr. Olympia review. Shut this message off. Alright guys, now this might be, what the fuck are these messages? This might be a little bit of a long video, a little long video, whatever. But let's start from the beginning. We got to the Olympia on Wednesday night. It was pretty late. Thursday we did the Isotori meet and greet, which was really cool. Chris Jones, Big J, Extreme Fitness, Nick Wright and Ariana, we were all there. We had different stations set up that we talk about different things. Mine was nutrition, and we had had a full house, sold out event for that. So thank you all for coming out for that. And thank you for Isotori for putting that together. They gave away a bunch of supplements, and I shot a video with Steve Adelaide, who you guys will see the video about BioGrow and some other things about BioGrow that we didn't know. Friday morning, started the expo, and like 8:30 a.m. Now, these things run all day long. They're tiring, but I gotta say, you know, we get to Isotori first during the day, and I just gotta say thank you so much for coming out. You guys who, you can probably hear my voice is a little hoarse. This is the first time at an event that I barely had any time. Like, if I was standing there without somebody talking to me or shaking hands or taking pictures, like, that was a pretty rare moment. Like, you don't even really have time to eat. So thank you for coming out, and it was really cool to have, you know, again, Big J, Nick Wright, Physiques of Greatness, all of us together at one booth. And at one point, Mark Lobliner stopped by, so all of us were there together, and it was pretty cool to have, you know, all the viewers come out and chill out and hang out. And, you know, from 3 to 5, both days, I was at the 5% nutrition booth with Rich Piana and his crew. Now, I gotta say, going over to the 5% booth, the guys that were hanging there with Rich are all his boys from LA. So they all hang out together, so they're kind of a, you know, a close-knit crew. And I got there, and I was kind of like the outsider. None of them had ever met me, and actually I'd never met Rich. The night before at the hotel, I had met Rich. We spoke, and everything was cool. The hospitality that these guys showed me and Kari both were just amazing. I mean, I just literally felt like one of the gang when you got there hanging out and stuff. You know, he had a line that was like wrapped around the building for fucking ever, and the guy was just so gracious talking to everybody and hanging out, and it was a really cool experience overall to be able to hang out with those guys. And it's fucking messages. Damn it. So Friday night was the 5% Nutrition After Party, which Kari and I went to. We wound up being judges for the Mr. and Mrs. Sin City competition, which was very cool. It was kind of a different kind of competition. You can see some of that footage probably on Rich's website, or Rich's channel that should be coming up soon. So we didn't get to go to the pre-judging. Now this is where the whole Kai and Phil thing starts. Thursday morning, I think it was Thursday or Friday morning, we went to the press conference. Now, the Olympia press conference is free. You can't just, you don't have to pay for a ticket. You just have to show up and go in. But the problem is there's a huge line. You got to get there early, and I didn't know that. So my buddy Matt Daniels, who's actually Phil Heath's manager, texted me and was like, hey, this thing's filling up fast. You got to get here. Me and Kari got there late, and we couldn't get in. So for the first like half of the press conference, we weren't inside. So we were filming in the casino and hanging out and just doing some stuff for the channel. And I ran into Sean Ray, and Sean was like, why aren't you guys inside? So we told him, said, you know, they closed the door. He said, there's some seats right next to me in the actual media section. Just come down there. You know, the media section is where we're going to be filming for the channel and stuff anyway. So Sean got us in. We went inside, and that is when we saw the final altercation between Kai Green and Phil Heath. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Phil has been rude to Kai in the past. Phil was played up by this movie, Generation Iron, to be a real dick. And some of it was more theatrical than the rest of it. And I think a lot of people hold on to that and say, well, Phil's a dick because I saw it in the movie. Or they say, well, Phil has said things in confidence, maybe a little bit cockiness, but he's the champ. He's not said derogatory things. Now, he could say Kai Green is never going to be Mr. Olympia because of a grapefruit. You know, he could say anything, all these things that he wanted. He doesn't say those things. Now, when Phil was asked this question at the press conference, he started to speak about his dad. And he said he was going to win one for his dad. Now, how many people say, I'm going to win Wimbledon for my dad? I'm going to win the World Series for my dad. It's something that you say that's powerful, that you're going to put your best foot forward. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, okay? And it's not cocky. It's a confident thing, but it's not cocky. And Kai flat out just started talking about, it's not about your dad. You're living in the past. You're not Mr. Olympia 2014. You're Mr. Olympia 2013, and that's in the past. Meaning, like saying you're not even the reigning champ. Kai also went as far as to keep signing the posters as the 2014 Mr. Olympia at the meet and greets. So I'm sitting there going, that's not just confident, that's cocky, that's trying to fuck with him, that's being rude, that's being a dick. And flat out, you know, they asked Kai, well, give me 3 reasons why you're going to beat Phil. And he said, 40 pounds heavier, so want something else. And he said, from the rack, it's over. So they go up to Phil and said, give me 3 reasons why you're going to beat Kai. And Phil said 2011, 2012, 2013, because he won the Olympia those 3 years and beat him. Now, at that point, you know, Kai just got quiet. And, you know, all the Olympians on stage were very, kind of like, they were uncomfortable. You could see them all. Even Branch Warren was sitting next to Kai, and he's like, you know, kind of looking at the table. Everybody's uncomfortable because what was said was, you know, Phil's trying to pay homage to his father, okay? And him and his dad were estranged. He had to make amends before his dad passed away. And it was an emotional thing. Like last year, his wife had breast cancer. This year, his dad and the estranged father-son relationship had to be mended. There was stuff that he was trying to show that was real, raw emotion. And Kai just kept cutting him off. And it was just rude. It was flat out rude. Kai had his chance to talk. But to talk about someone's dad and say, hey, this isn't about your dad, is just flat out rude. And Phil's a bigger guy than I am, because I would have got off that stage and kicked that motherfucker right in his little baby nuts and pushed him off the stage. That's bullshit, all right? Flat out, that is bullshit the way that he kept cutting him off and talking about, it's not about your dad, it's not about your dad. That's just bullshit. So I thought maybe it was so over the top that it was scripted. And, you know, I went up to Matt, Phil's manager, and said, hey, man, is this like WWE? You guys got like a storyline going? And Matt shook his head and he said, no, man. He said, it's not scripted. I don't know what the fuck just happened. So we go over to the side to see Phil, and Phil comes out and he says, man, were you in there just now? And I said, yeah. He goes, just shook his head and he said, I don't know, man. You know, like, you could tell that he was bothered by it, but he was still trying to keep his emotions in check and not let it get to him that much. Now, seeing that going into the night show, I wasn't at the prejudging. I think we're going to end this video right here. We're going to do part 2 in a second. So let's end this right here. Biostraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com is a blog, and we're part 2 coming up, bicep, and we're out.